we don't engage in negatives. We understand that there are times that we could do things better, but we think that the business of sport requires much more of a positive approach, and we have been pursuing that modus operandi.
You must admit, though, Mr. Samuda, that
Yes.
you have some detractors. What do you think are causing these detractors to continue being there?
Well, let me tell you, let's just put in perspective. Minority. And if there is, in fact, a word in the vocabulary that can express something less than the minority, then I would articulate that word. You're always going to have people who, for some reasons known best to them, would wish to have things done differently. But happily, the majority, if I may say 99% of our stakeholders, feel that we are on the right path as an executive, we're on the right path as an association. And what you have to do is, once you have the buy-in from your immediate stakeholders, then you continue with the business at hand and ensure that you realize the objectives and goals that you have set for yourself. So we don't engage in negatives. We understand that there are times that we could do things better, but we think that the business of sport requires much more of a positive approach, and we have been pursuing that modus operandi. We know that our youth must have opportunities, and therefore we feel that as an apex and governing body, we have a responsibility to invest in their talent and do whatever we can to bring that talent to fruition. That is something that has always occupied our strategic agenda. Ensuring that our youth have a menu of options, ensuring that our sportsmen and sportswomen are able to have choices in sport. Not everybody is going to be a cricketer, footballer, or track and field person. And we have demonstrated that. As a matter of fact, we have an archer who I have no doubt is going to qualify for the 2024 Paris Games. When last have we heard about that? When last have we heard about judo? When last have we heard about fencing? These are sports that are making strides, and we are supporting them.
Your detractors, those who would say too much is being spent on these sports for a small return.
Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. It's not a small return. CAC, the most sports represented, and the smaller sports were there. Pan Am, Commonwealth Games, those are the facts. And the so-called smaller sports, which of course is not a term in our vocabulary at the Jamaica Olympic Association, have been doing exceptionally well. And as a matter of fact, per capita, they're doing very well. And what we are saying is give them the opportunity, give them the resources so that they can bring the talent to the fore. And we are able to fertilize that talent as an apex organization. But that is nonsense, absolute nonsense.
So you're saying these detractors don't have a legitimate growth there?
Not at all. They must be informed. They must bring an informed mind to the sport in sector, and they must understand that people have an equal opportunity, as is enshrined in the Olympic Charter. The Olympic Charter articulates quite clearly that every athlete must have an opportunity to transition to the Olympic stage. And we are living that objective. Let us even use a business principle and a commercial principle. And let us simplify. Don't put your eggs in one basket. That is something I'm sure your mother and grandmother and your father and your grandfather told you. Don't put your eggs in one basket. There's also a principle in commercial, diversify your revenue base. And you take that principle, diversify your athletic base. And I use athletic in the broader sense of the term. You also pray in aid of the fact that you must give young people a choice in life. A choice in life. And therefore, on those three principles of life, we think that our investment in the so-called smaller sports has not only been consonant with those principles, but we have gotten results. There are results. So to say that we should not invest in is short-sighted. As a matter of fact, I would even say that it is disrespectful to those sports who feel that they should, of course, transition to the Olympic stage and who have the talent to do so. It's absolutely disrespectful. They must be given an equal opportunity to do so. And they must be given an equal opportunity to build their own brand to the extent that they perhaps in the future will become self-sufficient.
And you have the full backing of these associations.
Oh yes, the results are there, and every day they are saying to us, they're happy with the policy that we're pursuing. They're happy with the vision that we're articulating. They have now been brought into the vision, and they have a greater sense of democracy in terms of their contribution to the Olympic movement.